Think about the sheer physical toll required to master a craft. A decade of intense focus, thousands of hours of repetition. Then, an AI system outputs that exact same work in 4 seconds. This speed is why the World Economic Forum projects 85 million jobs displaced by automation by 2030, a staggering number that makes people anxious about their paychecks. But focusing solely on the economic math misses the deeper problem. The real threat of this technology has nothing to do with our wallets. It targets our psychology. Economic reports treat work entirely as a transaction for money. Historically, though, human beings pursued vocations to build their own internal identities. The daily act of working provides a reliable structure. It gives us a daily arena to push against resistance, prove we are capable, and earn our own self-respect. Automating the effort out of our daily tasks strips away that friction entirely. When technology takes over the act of doing, we lose the opportunity to prove our worth, and that creates a dangerous psychological vacuum that a universal basic income check will never fill. Historically, physical labor baked friction into everyday life. A blacksmith striking heavy iron was simultaneously forging his own patience and resilience. Cognitive labor functioned the exact same way. An accountant manually auditing complex returns through dense ledgers was actively shaping his identity as a capable adult. This points to a biological reality: growth through resistance. Just like physical muscles, the human psyche requires heavy friction to expand and mature. The cycle is brutally simple. We carry weight, we push against resistance, we fail and crack, reflect on the failure, and try again until we can finally lift the load. Enduring that discomfort is the non-negotiable biological mechanism required to build a resilient, fully formed adult. Now look at modern AI. It functions as the ultimate friction removal system, explicitly engineered to extract all struggle from our daily routines. Removing that struggle triggers what we can call mental infancy. We end up with populations that are fully grown in physical body, but remain infants in their psychological resilience. This chart plots global mental health baselines according to World Health Organization data. Notice the sharp, dramatic 25% upward spike in depression and anxiety disorders. We experienced this massive increase during the pandemic era, a period defined by extreme indoor comfort, physical isolation, and a near-total removal of physical challenge. An entirely frictionless, system-assisted existence is a psychological trap. Without resistance, the human mind simply stops growing into itself. There is a second half to that World Economic Forum equation. While millions of jobs disappear, the report also projects the creation of 97 million new roles. These incoming positions are heavily centered on complex interpersonal intelligence, human-to-human collaboration that strictly requires highly resilient people. Because the modern economy will no longer organically provide the friction needed to build that character, we have to manufacture it ourselves. We have to practice intentional discomfort. Surviving the transition to automation means actively seeking out difficult, physically demanding tasks, simply to preserve our own mental utility. This philosophy is exactly what we test at Master Shin's Taekwondo. The mats serve as a physical laboratory for raw, exhausting, explosive intensity. Pushing past the exact moment where quitting feels easier is a deliberate practice. It is the necessary labor to build your mind muscle. The specific tasks you do at work will likely be automated, but the resilient identity you forge by overcoming your own limits is entirely unreplaceable. We have survived massive structural disruptions before. In Part 3, we will look at a devastating 14th century plague to see exactly what history teaches us about surviving this specific moment. True security in the coming era won't come from upgrading your digital skills. It will come from intentionally hardening your human character against the lure of absolute comfort.